Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Tolu Dialogues. Today I have with me a very special guest in our series of Breaking Barriers. So, she's an educator. She actually pioneered Yoruba language with the Halton District Catholic School Board. She'll tell us more about that. She's the founder of Kiddies Treasures. She's also the founder of Lagos Canada Mom, which says a lot about lifestyle and a passion for creating a wholesome family. And the reason why she's with us here today is to talk about another project she's doing, which is the Akeko. So she's the founder of Akeko. Join me as I welcome Tolulope Adegbite. Hi, Tolu.
Hi, Tolu.
So this is really weird because I bought Tolu's, but hey, how are you doing? Thanks for coming on Tolu Dialogues. I know this is long overdue. We've spoken about this a couple of times, and I'm happy you're here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay.
So, Tolu, first and foremost, I know we're here for Akeko, but can you tell us a bit about this whole pioneering Yoruba language with the whole district school board? Because, and by the way, Tolu actually has a master's in education from the University of Niagara.
Yes,
right. So she's an educator through and through. She has the certification. She's done this for years. She's very passionate about kids. If you follow Lagos Canada Mom, you know about that. But today we're here for Akeko. Yeah. So I think, am I right to say Akeko probably started from that pioneering business, or can you tell us a bit about that?
Okay, so maybe it was an offshoot of it or not. So a couple years ago, I noticed that the school board had a lot of languages that they were doing, international languages that they were like offering, and I looked on the list and there was no Nigerian language on it. Yes, damn. This was about like 2 years after I'd been in Canada. Okay. So I went and spoke to the manager of the program, and I had met her at an event, and I asked why we were not offering it, and they said because they didn't think that we had enough people. And I was like, no, I think we do have enough people.
Too many people.
She said, okay, I'm going to give you, at this time, registration was physical. So she said, I'm going to give you some forms. If you're able to get me 25 students, then we can start a class. This was just before COVID. And then I took the forms. Unfortunately, I was not able to distribute the forms because it was about COVID time and then COVID started. So I thought about it and I was like, okay, what can we do? Because the reason I actually went and asked for it was because I saw that other people, like a lot of people from different cultures, will be speaking their languages to their children. And every time I try to speak Yoruba to most of the children I meet in Canada, they're like, what are you saying? And then when people find out that my kids understand Yoruba and can even speak, they're like super surprised, like, wow, they can. It's not supposed to be something like a huge achievement, in my own opinion. So when I asked them, they said, well, and I tried to get people to fill the forms, but again, COVID. So I then thought of offering classes on my own because we were all at home. There was nothing to do, right? So I started with a free class. So I offered a free class online. We had a number of students and I thought, okay, people are interested. Let's take this for that. But of course, I can't just be doing classes for free. So I asked if people were interested in paid classes, and people actually registered their kids. So we started Akeko Yoruba at the time, and I was trying to actually find a name for it. And I think while we've been brainstorming at home, I think it was one of my kids or my husband, somehow we came up with the name Akeko Yoruba students. That's what it means. So we started that. And then I got a call from the manager who I had spoken to some months down the line asking me if, I called to say, oh, unfortunately, we were not able to get physical registrations. Is anything happening right now? And then she said, oh, we're thinking of taking the program online. Are you able to get people? And that's how they offered it. And I said, okay, let me ask people. And I started sending messages to them, share in your groups, share the link with people and see if they're interested. And then we had like 190 students registered for that first run.
190 students?
Yes, my manager was in shock. She was like, I've never had a program this successful before. What did you do?
Spanish, French, Italian.
And I was like, well, it's the power of community. we said people shared with people, shared with people, shared with people, and they all registered their kids. And what more, it was free, so people were interested. So yeah, that's how.
Wow, that's beautiful. Can I just, so when you were saying this about the kids you were speaking Yoruba to, and when you're speaking Yoruba back to you, were these kids that migrated from Nigeria or kids that migrated from other parts of the country?
I think a lot of the kids that I came in contact with, and that was the shock for me, came from Nigeria. They migrated from Nigeria. But you know, we had this thing in Nigeria. I don't speak Yoruba to my kids. It's not really cool.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay. So, well, thank God for Akeko. So it is Akeko Yoruba, not Akeko.
Well, you can say Akeko. I mean, like if you shorten it, it will be Akeko, but that would be students, and then it would not be complete. So Akeko Yoruba.
Okay. So this brings me nicely to my next question.
Okay.
You did say about having the power of community was what made you gather at least 190 students, which is a big deal for a trial program.
I won't say that I didn't do it.
Not you, but I mean in terms of sending the information out. It was your initiative. So
it was, yes.
Own it with your full chest.
Yes, it was.
It was your initiative.
Yes, it was.
So obviously, but it takes more than one tree to build a forest.
Absolutely.
But the idea came from you.
Yeah.
So having done that, you did say something about sending the information out with networking and all that. Now in the present day, with Akeko, what has the impact of network, or what impact is networking having on your business as a founder of Akeko? Would you say I do more of it, less of it? Would you say it has no impact? How is that influencing your market?
Okay, so I would say that maybe that's one thing that I need to do more of. Networking.
It's bad. I'm going to pretend like I don't know you personally.
I don't think I'm very good at networking on my own. I'm really a homebody and I live online pretty much. But I find that most of our students right now are like from people that I met online, you know, maybe through Lagos, Canada Mom, or even maybe they met me at maybe there was a live event that someone invited me to, and they're like, "Oh, you teach Yoruba? I'd like to register my kids." So I'll say that it's still playing a big role. I feel like if I do more, or even my tutors, the tutors that work for me, if we do more of networking, we'll be able to. It's like a people-oriented business, right? So people want to trust you. They want to know what you're doing. I'm a teacher. People want to meet their child's teacher. They want to know that they can entrust their child to you. So, yeah. So I feel like we can do more networking.
Okay, so you need to do more of it. And the least you've done, you can see the impact.
I can see it, yes.
Because that's how you feel like networking is a bit flogged out. Like, oh, network. You're saying that there's actually an advantage to that, and you've seen a bit of impact on that with the
trial program. I also do have this policy about running a business, though.
Okay.
Whatever business that you're running, that you think that you need, you absolutely need the support of family and friends to run, or for it to stand on its own. It's not really a business. You need people who don't know you, who are not friends, who are not family, to be able to trust you and to be able to like back up whatever it is that you're doing. Does that make sense?
Preach it. It does.
Yeah.
It does make a lot of sense, because then they're not only patronizing you because they know you and they feel loyal to you. They're patronizing because of the quality of service they're getting from you. So you've heard it, guys. I'm sure she's here because of the quality of service. can't help myself. So my next question is about you running the business at Akeko Yoruba. So can you just tell me, how does the classes, so if I was to come to you now and say, Tolu, I'd like to enroll my son, what will my son be getting? How does that work?
Okay, so we thought of the best way to run classes and how best to reach our clients, because I say that it's not just kids in Canada that we want to be able to reach. We want to reach kids in the diaspora in general. So we offer classes online, either on Zoom or Google Meet. So that's where we run our classes. Classes are flexible and we have very small class sizes. Right now, our largest class size is 8.
Okay.
So, which makes it easier and that's a group class, which makes it easier for you to be able to reach the kids, be able to teach the kids. And I also say that I'm not trying to teach kids how to write,
ABDAFG.
No, not that. I want them to learn the alphabet. I want them to be able to read it. But I'm not trying to teach them to, we're not trying to teach them to be able to write a whole Yoruba textbook.
Okay.
It's more of conversational language. Communicative language is what we focus on. How can they say good morning? Can they say good afternoon in Yoruba? Ekaro, ekason, timasokwe bawoni. Can they respond to me? Those kind of things. So we focus on the basics, on them being able to understand conversation around them and being able to respond to those conversations.
And also like numbers and all that.
And numbers, yes, things like numbers, some songs in Yoruba. So we'd start you, if your kid registers with us right now, we would do an assessment, an informal assessment, just to know what your child
level of Yoruba.
Yes, to say, okay, good morning in Yoruba, Karo. If your child can respond to me when I say Karo, then I know, okay, a little bit. Or Timasokwe, Ibolungbe, where do you live? Can you respond to me if I ask you, how old are you? Those are like basic things that you would say to people. Hello, bawoni, Timasokwe bawoni, can your child respond to me? So if I don't get any responses to any of those things, then I know, okay, this is ground zero where we are starting from the beginning. Does that make sense?
And do you also have, so obviously most of your clients will be Yoruba children.
They are.
Do you also have non-Yoruba children trying to learn Yoruba? Just like we have our kids trying to learn French, we have our kids trying to learn Spanish. So do you get that as well, where you have kids that are non-Nigerians or non-Yorubas? But can actually be Nigerians and be Igbos and trying to learn Yoruba, for instance. Do you get that? Do you
know what we've gotten would be mom is not Yoruba.
Oh yeah, I have
mom is trying to get the kids to learn.
Okay.
Or mom is Yoruba, dad is not Yoruba, and mom wants the kids to learn Yoruba.
Okay.
So we've gotten that, but I remember though, yes, I remember that when we had our program with the school board, or when we started, we had a kid who was non-Nigerian, who was white, and who was trying to learn Yoruba. And that's good. Yeah, it was nice. Yes.
So I think another question I was going to ask, and that's all shoot from how your day runs in terms of, when I was asking about what would a child get if they were to come, in terms of tutors, because I've heard you make reference to the tutors being online. So how do you source this? How do you, not source, maybe not really tell us how you source your teachers,
how do you
but
teachers?
How do you, so what criteria do you need to have in place for, so the people watching, like, okay, if someone is teaching my daughter Yoruba, as in, who is teaching my child Yoruba apart from Tolu? As in, what do you look at? Are they based here? Are they based in Nigeria?
Right now, the tutors we have are based in Nigeria.
Okay.
And there's a reason. Well, the main reason that I would say that I get people from Nigeria is it's easier to, people use the language every day over there. And there are also people who are willing to, they're patient because I don't want to use the word hungry, but they're like determined to make it work, and it's not clashing with anything, some other things that they might be doing. There are also people who have studied Yoruba, or that is their job. So I look for professionalism, I look for competence. So I would interview and see how well you can communicate in Yoruba, and I would actually simulate a lesson and say, teach me this in Yoruba. If I was coming to you newly and you wanted to teach me how to greet, and you wanted to teach me the numbers or the alphabet, how would you do it? And then whatever way you respond to me, or whichever way you approach me, and I say, teach me like a child, like I know nothing. And then that determines whether you can work for us or not. I also say to them, so we have some key policies. You cannot shout at kids, you can't call them names, you can't spark.
So that's your teacher part. That is the standard you already have here.
Yes.
Having trained, here in Canada, bringing a bit of that, and also your background in Nigeria, because you've always been around kids, to be honest. I think it's okay to say maybe that's your ministry, as they say, that's your ministry.
Yeah,
because even from your Kiddies Treasures about clothes, Lagos Canada Mom is more about settling family, and now Akeko is still about impacting those children and not making them forget their heritage, their culture, and being able to have those conversations. So, Tolu, I would like you to tell me or to tell the viewers rather,
Okay.
what challenges you face with Akeko. And before you tell me the challenges you're facing right now,
Yeah.
I would also like to kind of touch on the ones you've had and how you overcame those challenges. So if someone is watching and they want to do something similar, they can go, oh, Tolu did this, so I don't have to do that.
Okay.
Or learn from your mistakes or your challenge or how you overcame them.
A lot of people don't want to pay. They're like, it's our language. But yes, it's our language, but your child cannot speak it. So you have to pay to learn it or for them to learn it unless you can teach them. So it's value adding. When you think about it, there are people in North America who are busy looking for their roots, who are doing all these ancestry tests just to know where they're from. And you have the gift of that. Our kids have the gift of that. And we have to nurture it. We have to let them know their culture, their roots, their language, so that our kids will not be lost in future and start to find roots that they were given originally. Does that make sense?
A lot of sense. A lot of sense.
So, yeah, it's value adding. So the way that we've overcome some of the challenges of people not wanting to pay is when they see the value we're adding, kids who are not able to, who maybe came to us with no words of Yoruba are now stringing sentences together. They can now greet. They can now ask for things in Yoruba. The value is there, right? And they're happy when they see that. And sometimes when people ask questions like, oh, what am I going to get? Sometimes we just send them videos of kids who are now in our classes and who can use the language. Or when people hear my kid, one of my children speaking to me or asking me questions in Yoruba. Accents might not be perfect because of the environment, but they can speak and they understand everything. That's value adding, right?
Yeah,
so,
it is.
And when they see that, then people want to say, oh, okay, I'd like to have that too. If you want to have it too, then you have to pay for it if you can do it yourself.
Okay. I like that if you can do it yourself, because there's that option of actually speaking the language to your kids at home. But at times, I think it's the consistency.
It's the consistency.
And that's what lessons.
Which is why I also said the parents have a job to do as well. So your child comes to class for an hour a day, a week. Then you have to practice
Supplement.
At home. Yeah.
Okay. So where do you see Akeko in the next 5 years? What do you have in mind when you think about Akeko as, a project or as a business, like you rightly said, it's a business. Where do you see your business in the next 5 years?
So in the next 5 years, I'm looking at us having students in every country that is not Nigeria. And also expanding more, not just now teaching language, but expanding into teaching things about culture and even having like fun classes, summer classes that are focused on Nigerian culture or the Yoruba culture or the Yoruba traditions. We have all those beautiful songs that sometimes you just remember and you reminisce and you're like, oh, I learned that as a kid.
Can you tell me one now?
We have a song for everything. For instance, when it's raining, if your parents want to teach you why you shouldn't stay outside, they're going to teach you a song. Òjò ń rọ̀ ṣeré nínú ilé, má wọnú òjò kí aṣọ rẹ má bàa tutù, kí òtútù má bàa mú ẹ o.
You have to
learn a lesson.
You just stop at kí aṣọ rẹ má bàa tutù. That's it. You don't add the other one. Tolu, I'm sure there's some people watching and they're thinking they want their kids to enroll, or even they want to enroll. Can I just ask you, do you also offer lessons to adults, not just children?
We can teach adults.
Okay, so I'm sure there are people watching and thinking, how can we access Akeko? Can you tell the viewers, how can they register?
We have a website, akekoyoruba.ca, and we have a registration link on our website. We are also on Instagram, Akeko Yoruba. And you can also send me a DM on Lagos, Canada Mom. I will respond and I might direct you to the right place or send the link directly. For people who are hearing or who are watching this, if they enroll their kids, because you're my good friend, I'm giving 10% off to anybody who registers and mentions Tolu Dialogues.
And it's TD10.
10% for the first 3 months.
TD10. Tolu Dialogues 10.
TD10.
Thank you. So, and thank you for that. Thank you for giving that away. So guys, you've heard, summer is still on. If your kids are not doing anything this summer, and even if they are, from what Tolu said, it's just an hour.
Yes.
Like a week, isn't it?
So right now we have our summer classes ongoing.
Oh, Okay.
Yes, so during the summer, we're doing two, depending on how busy you are or how quickly you want your kids to learn, intensive classes, 2 classes a week, for an hour and a half. Each class is an hour and a half.
So 3 hours a week.
3 hours a week, and yeah, so that is ongoing. And then in September, we go back to normal programming, 1 or 2 classes a week, depending
on individuals. So you can take as many classes as you
our
want.
classes are typically an hour.
Yeah, but you can say to have every week or every day. You work with it. Okay.
We will work with it.
Okay.
Whatever you want. If you want weekday classes, you want weekend classes, we offer everything.
Okay.
So we usually work with parents to see how. And oh, I forgot to tell you that our kids are grouped in by age. So classes are age appropriate.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tolu. Guys, you've heard it all. If you want your child to learn Yoruba and you want to maintain the culture, the heritage, Akeko is the person to be with. The registration link and all the information is below. So for now, is a big thank you for watching, and all the links that we've discussed can be found in our description. So Tolu, there's something we do for everybody that comes on Tolu Dialogue. We have to chant our mantra, which is Tolu Dialogue, inspire, empower, elevate. So see you guys next time.